Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing Relationship Coach Discusses Dumper Secrets. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing Relationship Coach Discusses Dumper Secrets. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you will likely wonder what your ex is thinking. What are the dumper thoughts? In today's podcast, I discuss 3 common dumper secrets that they don't want their ex to know. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is they don't feel powerful. So although dumpers are in a position of power, most dumpers don't feel powerful. So before we delve into point number 1, let me just break down exactly what I mean about the power situation so you understand where I'm coming from. At the time of a breakup, the person who ended the relationship has made a decision and they've got their own way. That decision was actioned, hence that person, the dumper, has the power. The dumpee, on the other hand, didn't want the relationship to end. They didn't want this to happen, but their wishes were not taken into consideration to the level of where their thoughts were actioned. The dumpee didn't want the relationship to end, but that is not what happened. Instead, the opposite took place. The relationship is over, the breakup happened. So as you can see, at the time of the breakup, the dumper is in the powerful position and the dumpee isn't. The dumper has the power, the dumpee doesn't. But it doesn't mean that the dumper feels powerful. And the reason for this is because they come into the breakup situation often feeling vulnerable and you might say battered and bruised mentally, spiritually and emotionally. The reason for this is because somebody doesn't end a relationship for no reason. This breakup took place because the dumper did not feel satisfied or confident that this relationship was going to make them feel ultimate happiness moving forward. Now, the exact reason for the breakup or reasons are going to be different for every single individual. That is why my podcasts have to be generalized. And that is why if you want support with your breakup situation, whether you want to move forward and meet somebody new, whether you want to try to get your ex back, you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your specific, unique circumstances. Check out my website, www.dateme.tips, if you would like to speak with me one-on-one via audio coaching, where I become your coach and your teammate. Check the website out if you would like to talk. But when we consider the power struggle, where we consider how the dumper is positioned and where the dumpee is positioned, we have to realise that although the dumper has the power, they might not feel they've got it, and they often don't feel they have it. The dumper, as I said, is feeling emotionally pained at the time of the breakup. They didn't want this relationship to end. Why would anybody get into a relationship just for it to end in a struggle? You know, they know when they ended this relationship, you are likely as the dumpee to be going through a tough time. Most dumpers don't want to hurt their exes. Most dumpers certainly don't want the drama. And most dumpers don't want this whole breakup scenario to have even taken place. They feel they have to, but it doesn't mean they're confident. It doesn't mean they feel powerful. It doesn't mean they feel great. You have to realise as a dumpee that the dumper, although they have a power, they made the decision, they feel that they have been through their own personal struggle to get to this point. They didn't feel fulfilled, they didn't feel the level of happiness they thought they should have, and they weren't confident that this would come in the future. That is not a strong position, it's not a powerful position, it is a vulnerable position. So although they've got the power, most dumpers don't actually feel powerful. And as a dumpee, it is a secret that they will not want you to know, because why would they want you to know that they are also likely to be going through the struggle? They want to come across as being in control. They want to come across as having everything together. They want to come across as they are moving forward with confidence. The truth is that is very unlikely to be the case. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about relationship coach discusses dumper secrets. And point number 2 is social media is not reality. People post on social media what they want others to see. Social media is PR. Social media is not reality. As a dumpee, you are likely to check your ex's social media if you have access to, and this is never going to help you. At best, it will confuse you, and at worst, it will continually break your heart. But the truth is, and the secret that you're unlikely to realise right now, is that this is not completely true. It's not complete reality. It is, in essence, a PR stunt. Your dumper will be posting what they want others to see. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean what they want you to see. You might not be the aim, although that is possible, but they want the world to see. And you have to realise that a dumper is known by all their friends and family to have gone through a breakup. Their friends and family are going to be somewhat worried for them, somewhat concerned about how they are feeling. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm the dumpee. Why on earth will we be worried about the dumper? Well, like I said in point number 1, the friends and family of a dumper will see it as them going through a difficult relationship that they didn't really want to end, but they felt they had to. And they are worried about their mental health just as much as your mental health will be worried about by your friends and family. So, the dumper is posting things online, whether it's aimed for you, whether it's aimed for their friends and family. This is in essence a PR stunt. It is a situation where they'll be posting things more than likely to showcase their best life. Social media is for a reaction. It is either to have people say, oh, well done, that's brilliant, that's great, you look amazing, or poor you, I'm so sorry for you, do you want to talk? So you might see your ex-dumper going one or both ways with this, but more often than not, they do go the route of saying, I'm having a wonderful life, this is amazing, I'm having the best time. You'll see photos of your ex probably looking fantastic, probably out with people you don't recognise, probably doing things you didn't think they ever wanted to do. This is not necessarily reality. Now, of course, they are likely where they say they are, but what I mean by this is you are seeing a snapshot. You are seeing that 1 second where they took the photo and they're smiling, not the rest of the night where they're not. You are seeing that moment where they look incredible, but have they put a filter on that photo? Is this a flattering angle? Is this a scenario where they took 100 photos and that was the best? You don't know if they've just wiped away the tears. Now, I'm not here to say that you should be thinking, oh, look, it's fine, my ex is really unhappy. You shouldn't be wishing unhappiness on anybody, even if you feel that they deserve some unlucky situations, even if you feel that they deserve to feel unhappy. It's not great to be wishing that on anybody, and I think if you thought clearly, you would feel the same. But it's very understandable that when you go through a breakup, you are going to be feeling angry, frustrated, and a level of bitterness, but just please try not to let it take over your life. But the point is, you don't know how your ex is feeling. You don't know how their day has gone. And they're showing you a snapshot. This isn't reality. Now, they might go the other way. They might be typing, I feel so lonely, I feel so sad. Again, they are often looking for people to reach out to them. That doesn't necessarily mean you, though. You have to realise that if they ended the relationship, they know full well that they are in the position where they have ended it, and therefore they need to come to you if they want to speak again. So if you see your ex posting something online which looks like that they really want you to reach out to them, I would think twice about it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't reach out in that instance. You've got to use your own common sense. You've got to use your own intuition on the specifics of what you have read, okay? But I'm saying generalized. When somebody ends a relationship, they know that they need to reach out to you to communicate again. They don't have to expect that you're going to be reading everything they post. They probably think that you won't be. So although there is a chance that you may want to reach out if you read something which seems serious, or certainly you should be contacting their friends and family if you are genuinely worried. But what I would say, in the vast majority of instances, the best action is to never contact your dumper again unless they contact you first. So even if you see something online which looks like they're fishing for you to comment, fishing for you to message, I would really be cautious on doing so. Again, if you think this is a serious scenario, if you think this is very important, you may want to consider contacting their friends and family if you think they need support, or possibly, in rare instances, maybe it is right that you do. But be very, very cautious, because social media is PR. Social media is not necessarily reality. And if they really wanted to contact you, the likelihood is that they would. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about relationship coach discusses dumper secrets. And the third secret is that they think of you. Now, sometimes at the time of a breakup, the dumper will say things such as, I'm never going to speak with you again. I don't want to ever see you again. I'm never going to think of you again. But the truth is, they certainly will think of you again. Whether or not they reach out to you, whether or not you ever see them again, that will be different for every single person. Although, if you do everything right, if you live your life in the right way, if you use the hints, tips and strategies that I suggest in my other podcasts and via audio coaching, you stand every opportunity of one day hearing from your ex again. But let's just take this down to the most basic point. Your ex certainly will think of you again. You were living within a romantic relationship. You had an experience together which is unique to you both. You will never meet somebody like your ex again. They will never meet somebody like you again. You will always be in their life. They will always be in yours. And when I say this, this is regarding the life story. A life story can't be altered. And when they think back to those memories of their past, you will appear in them. When they go through life, they will have triggers which will make them think of you. Whether they see you again or whether they just think of you again, you will be in their mind again. So if they say things like, I'll never think of you again, please remember, this is not true. It's not possible. I'm sure you can think back to your past and remember people that you haven't seen in years, if not decades, and you were never in a romantic relationship with them. So how on earth could you ever forget somebody that you were? A romantic relationship is the most powerful relationship that can be formed between two people who aren't related. You will never forget them, they will never forget you. What they may have said in the heat of a breakup is just that. It's the heat of a breakup, and it's not definitely going to be the case. I would say in the instance of them thinking about you, it's absolute nonsense. They can't not think of you. They can't stick to a situation where they say, I will never think of you again. You will pop in their mind often. And the longer and deeper your relationship was, the more potential triggers that there will be. So please, never ever think that your ex is going to go on their life journey and never think of you again. They will. And that is where, if you do everything right, that is where, if their life doesn't quite go the way that they hope, this is where there is a moment of reflection. And if a level of romantic emotional attraction in their mind for you has grown to a necessary high point, when they think of you, they might just reach out. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.